Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be sharing with you a very important UK immigration changes and policy that will affect all migrants living here in the UK, most especially partners who came into the UK at a different time, right? As a dependent, the time you spend here in the UK and the time the principal applicant spend here in the UK, all will count towards when you apply for your indefinite leave to remain. And if both partners came into the UK at a different time, they will not be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain at the same time. And so what happens if after the primary applicant has applied for indefinite leave to remain after living here in the UK for 5 years and is dependent, right, have not lived up to 5 years in the UK? So how do you put that together? How would they extend their visa? Because note, dependent visa expire the same time with the principal applicant. If the principal applicant or the primary applicant, as the case may be, have had a visa for 5 years and he has lived here for like 2 years before he is able to bring in his dependent to join him here in the UK, his dependent visa will also expire the same time the principal applicant visa is expiring. So this is a big dilemma, and I'm very sure most international students who came into the UK, right, switch into skilled worker visa upon completion of their course of study, and afterward they're able to bring in their family. They will find themselves in this same predicament. So guys, if you care to know more about this and how to walk your way through this process, you need to stick with me to the end of this video so you can get the full information, because I've helped somebody to walk through the process and they get their visa extended. So guys, if you get to know more about this, you need to watch to the end to get the full information. Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. In this channel, I give latest updates about UK immigration changes, and other things you need to know about migration in the UK. If this content looks exciting to you and you gain value for this video I'm sharing, you can hit the subscribe button so you can join the amazing ever-growing family. And for my returning subscribers, thank you very much for always coming back to watch my video. I do appreciate you guys. So guys, let's get straight into today's video. So guys, as a dependent living here in the UK, your visa is usually tied to the principal applicant visa. Irrespective of the time you came into the UK, right? Even if you came into the UK 2 months before the expiration of the visa the primary applicant is using to reside in the UK, your visa cannot be granted beyond 2 months. So with that in mind, if as a dependent, your partner or whoever that is the principal applicant is living here in the UK on a 5 years visa, right? And 2 years into that 5 years visa tenure, he is able to bring in a dependent to come and join him here in the UK, right? So the dependent will now have a 3 years visa. So at the end of the 5 years term given to the principal applicant, right, he will be eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain. While his or her dependent will still have some more years to live in the UK, knowing fully well they've only spent 3 years because the primary applicant did not bring them into the UK as at when he came in on a 5 years visa. He brought them in after he has spent 2 years from the 5 years visa, right? So the dependent they've now spent 3 years till the end of the 5 years tenure. So while the principal applicant can go ahead to apply for his indefinite leave to remain, his dependent, because they've lived in the UK for just 3 years, they are not eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain. So in this case, what do you do? The first thing that will come to your mind is, since your partner is already on the indefinite leave to remain, you already had indefinite leave to remain, why don't I just apply as a spouse? So you need to apply for a spousal visa. That would be a wrong decision for anybody to do, because the moment you apply for a spousal visa, that will automatically reset your immigration status. The 3 years you've lived here in the UK will no longer count. So you need to start counting from afresh, because the skilled worker visa is different from the spousal visa. So once you change from skilled worker visa to spouse visa, your immigration status will automatically reset to 0. So you start counting, your time here in the UK will start counting from 0. So if you find yourself in this situation, switching to spousal visa after you spend 3 years in the UK is not it would not be a good decision, because you will end up starting afresh. So what do? This is what I did. If you find yourself in this situation, what you need to do is for you to go back to the skilled worker visa application portal, right? And go and make your fresh visa application, right? To extend your stay here in the UK. You can do that by simply using the same certificate of sponsorship number that the principal applicant, which is your partner, right, use in applying for your visa as at when you come into the UK, right? Yeah, you can say your partner has switched from skilled worker visa and is now on indefinite leave to remain, but you can still use the certificate of sponsorship number, right, that you use in applying for your dependent visa to also extend your visa. By so doing, you can extend your visa even when the principal applicant have already gotten indefinite leave to remain. Does that make any sense? So let me explain again. Yes, the principal applicant have lived here for 5 years and is eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain, which he has applied for and he has gotten his indefinite leave to remain. You, the dependent, you've lived here for 3 years under the principal applicant because you did not came into the UK the same time with him. So now, what you need to do is for you to use that the same certificate of sponsorship number used in applying for your visa as at when you make your visa application to come into the UK. Even when the principal applicant has gotten his indefinite leave to remain, you can still use that certificate of sponsorship number, right, to extend your stay here in the UK. By so doing, your stay in the UK will continue to count. If you spend 3 years, you can be given 2 or 3 years more, so you can be able to meet up your 5 years to get your own indefinite leave to remain. So don't make that mistake of applying for spousal visa, because that will automatically reset your immigration status here in the UK and you will start counting from 0. That's why you still need to count from the moment you apply for spousal visa. Your immigration status set to 0, so you need to start counting for 5 years before you can apply for indefinite leave to remain, while you've already spent 3 years all here in the UK in vain. So guys, this is an update. If your partner has lived here for 5 years and you, the dependent, you've not lived up to 5 years in the UK, your partner can go ahead to apply for his or her indefinite leave to remain. While you, the dependent, right, you can still use that the same certificate of sponsorship to extend your stay here in the UK. This is an update, so you need to share this content, because migrant living here in the UK, I know so many persons do not come into the UK with their spouse or their dependent at the same time, because the cost of moving the full family to the UK is really difficult. So many persons will opt for the principal applicants to leave, then after some months or some years before the dependent can join him here in the UK, after he has settled down a while and got something to do before they can join him here in the UK. So that on its own is not a crime, but at the end of the sponsorship period, both the dependent and the principal applicant will now have different years they've lived here in the UK, and they cannot apply for indefinite leave to remain at the same time. The 5 years indefinite leave to remain route is something that you cannot bank on the back of one of the applicants or the principal applicant that he has lived here for a particular number of years. By so doing, since you are his or dependent, you will automatically get indefinite leave to remain at the same time. It doesn't work that way. All mount to an extent. You must live here in the UK for 5 years before you be eligible. So the fact that you are partners, the fact that you are a dependent to someone that has lived here for 5 years, that will not automatically give you indefinite leave to remain, because you are dependent and you just feel you can apply under him at any time. And so, guys, this is an update. The skilled worker visa is different from indefinite leave to remain, right? So the indefinite leave to remain, you can only apply under somebody that has indefinite leave to remain as a spouse, as a spousal visa, which will reset your immigration status. So guys, this is an update. The only thing you need to do for me, you need to share this content so migrants who are out there that find themselves in this position can be able to sort themselves out without spending a lot of money to consult an immigration lawyer, right? The principal applicant can go ahead to make his indefinite leave to remain application, while the dependent can still use the certificate of sponsorship, right, that they use in applying for their visa when coming to the UK to extend their visa at that point in time. Even if the primary applicant is no longer working with that company, even if he has moved on from that company, they can still use that same certificate of sponsorship, right, to apply for their visa extension at that point. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. If you gain value for this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share with all your contacts so that so many persons can benefit from this content I'm sharing. See you in my next video.